If you've ever met that girl that you were seriously crushing on, then you're probably like every other guy out there, myself included, where you fumbled over your words and you couldn't collect your thoughts and form a proper sentence together to even say hi to this girl because you liked her so much. And I think this is a very basic principle of game when it's, you know, simple in theory, but really when it comes down to it, the jitters kick in, the nerves, um, the butterflies are in there because this girl is super cute or has a great personality or whatever it is, and you're just trying to put together the words that you're going to say. And this first impression principle is what I use as a foundation for a bundle of mini courses that I've decided to put together. I'm Jose, by the way, founder of Swag Academy. And I want to talk to you about that first impression because it's something that's so important and very overlooked in game. We really don't see the importance in it because it's that one shot we get, but more importantly, it's what the girl goes home thinking about when it comes to that 5 minute or sometimes a 2 minute dialogue that you may have. What kind of impression you left? How did she walk away feeling after that interaction? It's not so much the words that are said as much as the delivery, the confidence, the vibe that you give off, and there's so much more to it. But anyway, before we start, I want to encourage you to subscribe and help me put out more great content like this. We basically cover all things dating, relationships, love, and I want to talk to all the men out there because um, when it comes to breaking the ice with women, and whether that be face to face, in person, on that first phone call, or even through a dating app when you first connect or match, it's important to know what you're going to say, but also to set the precedent for really good conversation. And taking the lead in that initiative is usually falls on us. So it's important to have some tools under your belt. There's nothing wrong with doing a little bit of preparation and research and even practice. Believe it or not, a lot of guys will, you know, wing it, so to speak. And that can sometimes work. And there's dudes that can do that. And kudos to them. Um, but I'm a firm believer in preparation and having every edge that you possibly can have to your advantage. It's a competitive game. So why not learn a few skills and practice a few things, because that's how you elevate your game. So I definitely believe in that. So I created a little mini course called Icebreakers. And not only that, I've actually decided to bundle it with two other mini courses that I had previously held separately, called Question Box and Silver Tongue. And it's very simple. The reason I decided to do that is because they complement each other so well. They mesh together in the flow of conversation from the very first hello and that first impression, how you break the ice with that girl that's going to give you those 2, 3, 4 minutes of her time to entertain whatever it is that your approach is going to be. But then after that, what are the questions that you're going to ask her in order to get some information about her, get to know her, what she's all about as well, and then further that into an extended dialogue where you're being charming and sweet, you're making her laugh, making her smile, you're getting her thinking, you're getting her twirling her hair. It's not just meant to be an interaction where you're making small talk or making a friend. God forbid, if you genuinely like this girl and you're crushing, you want to throw out romantic vibes, right? So putting these three together is pivotal. And I'm going to talk to you about that in just a little bit. But again, just going back to that first impression when you first utter whatever words you're going to utter and hope that you don't stumble all over your words. It's so important to have, I would say, whatever the magic number is, there really isn't one. For me, it was typically a dozen very key lines, if you want to say. I hate the term pickup lines because it has such a negative connotation associated to them, but really it does begin with an opening line or an icebreaker that I have used and created and come up with hundreds of them, which I've put in this mini module called Icebreakers. But it's really intended for men to pick and choose just a handful of their own, maybe half a dozen or a dozen that work really well with your personality, that you feel confident in, that you can deliver, that you can repeat and rinse. and just get really good at. And then you'll start to see results, because I know they've worked for me and countless other men. So I'm going to encourage you to check that out, completely risk-free, because I have a couple of free introductory chapters that you can check out. You're going to see a link in the description, and it's icebreakers.swagacademy.com, and it's academy with an I, not a Y. And why am I doing this? Because I'm confident in the results that you're going to get. You're basically going to see better engagement from women, better reactions. You're going to pique their curiosity. You're going to arouse thoughts and feelings and positive emotions that women should be feeling when they first meet a guy. And remember, they're different creatures than we are, so they're not all about the surface and the superficial, right? They connect with their heart and their mind. So it's a lot about what you say to them and how you say it. And like I said, delivery is key. So I put this together for you specifically. So especially if you like, again, if you've just met this girl, or maybe there's somebody at work that you see every day that you're crushing on, but you haven't met her, you want to introduce yourself, but you don't know how. This is the perfect tool for that, because it really will give you so many options that you're going to be able to pick and choose from and say, you know what, this one specifically, and you can use them in combinations, right? That's why I decided to combine these into one. Now, here's the best part. What they were normally individually priced at, I've decided to leave the same exact price. So in other words, you get 3 for the price of 1, with icebreakers, question box, and silver tongue all together, intended for you to be able to break the proverbial ice, ask interesting, fascinating, thought-provoking questions, not cliched ones or boring, mundane, how is the weather, how is work? Just very, very in-depth questions that are going to get girls thinking and thinking about you, which is what you want. And then lastly, silver tongue, meaning that you're going to be romantic, poetic, charming, things that even if it doesn't come natural to you, you're going to be able to use in simple one-liners that are going to then direct the conversation towards the romantic end that you want it to be. So don't take my word for it. Try it out. Hit the link. Check out a couple of the free chapters and get a feel for what it is that exactly that I do, how I use these. It's a very easy PowerPoint/video presentation that I narrate with some visuals. And again, I give case studies, real life examples where I've used this, whatever you want to call them, testimonials or what have you, but they work. They've worked for me so many times in the past. And I know that they will work for you. So give them a try. And if you feel like you can get value out of this, which I know you will, then feel free to try. This is Swag Academy's signature course bundle. It's not the flagship product, which is our dating masterclass essentially, but I would highly recommend you just start with the icebreakers, because first impression principle is everything. It really sets the tone for who you are. And if a person only gets to meet and talk to you for 5 minutes, what kind of impression are you going to leave, right? That's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. Whether that girl is going to actually pick up when you call her, or even give you her real number, whatever it is going to be based on what you say in that first interaction. And that's sometimes the only chance you get. So underestimate it if you will, but it's critical that you perfect this part of your game, because after that, you can pretty much coast and you can make little mistakes along the way. But the first impression is something you rarely ever get a chance to repeat if you mess it up, So it sucks when you see that happen to really good guys who simply didn't prepare. And they could have even been compatible with this girl. They could have had everything that this girl was looking for, but because they didn't properly prepare this introduction, I've seen bad things happen. So anyway, check out icebreakers.swagacademy.com. Subscribe to this video for more great content. I will see you in the next video.